Hi, Matt from InvestQuant here. I wanted to share something that I found very interesting this morning when running through a couple studies in Discover. The idea that I was looking at was going long on down gaps in July in the ES. So I've got ES selected here. We've got the setup of intraday open, long, opening filters. We've got down gaps selected, and the only other thing I was looking at was going long on down gaps in July. So let me select July there. I've got it selected and view results. Here are the results. Historically, 59.7% win rate, equity curve moving from bottom left to upper right, showing a bullish trend for going long down gaps in July using no stop and no target. Overall, the bias looks pretty good, but what got really interesting was when I started looking at a different setup and relationship to it. So I'm going to open this other tab over here, and I'm going to look at this other setup called the last hour. And I've got it set up as a long. The last hour setup is just going long at 3 p.m. Eastern in the ES and getting out at the close of the session. So exact same exit as the prior study. This just has an entry at 3 p.m. versus getting in at the open. And let me select July here, so it is exactly the same, and view results. And these are the historical results for getting in at the last hour in the ES on down gaps in July, holding for the end of the day. And what was so interesting about this is you're pretty much getting, 80-ish% of the profits that we saw for the overall bias. The win rate goes up a little bit, nice profit factor, and the drawdown is quite a bit smaller than getting in at the open. So if I click this other tab here, you can see the other chart, which was getting in at the open. Here we go. And exiting at the close of the session. Both of these are intraday setups only, so they're both out at the close of the session. But what was so interesting here was the bias for the last hour looks like it is making up the majority of the profits for the overall bias getting in at the open. I thought that was interesting and maybe something that you can use if you choose to. So I hope you enjoyed that, and check back for another one of these sometime soon.